Hi everyone, welcome to Trout Talk by TroutPostStore.com. I'm your hostess, Caroline. Today we will be interviewing Steve and Drew on remote trout streams and the Thompson River. Let's get started. Tell us about the Thompson River.
So Drew and I just got back from a trip out there, and I had been one other time before. But the Thompson is a great stream in western North Carolina, a very remote area. It's known for its waterfalls. Area, whitewater, horse pasture is also beautiful. Chattooga's out there. The Thompson has been the best for fishing that I've found. It's a very rainy area of the state as well. Some areas even I think are considered a rainforest. They get enough rain. We've been very fortunate on the days we've been there to have really good weather, but you need to be ready for rain if you go out there. It's in the Thompson. You really is only accessed by hiking in. So there's a couple of access points in there. One was right off of Highway 281. There's a parking area, and that's the way we went down. That was a good way in, a little bit of a hike in, not too bad though. The stream itself has a lot of waterfalls and pools at the base of the waterfalls. Some very long, slow-moving pools. A little bit of a trick getting through. Wasn't that right, Drew? Do you remember?
Yes. Some
of those pools. Unfortunately, it was in the summer and it was nice and warm, so we didn't mind getting a little bit wet. Most of the trout there are brown trout. Those are probably our favorite. They tend to get larger. We didn't encounter any large fish the day we went most recently. My nephew did catch a nice rainbow out of there as well, but most are brown. There's a few rainbows, and Drew even caught a nice little brook trout to end our trip. And one thing surprised me is we actually had cell reception when I first got to the stream. We were talking to family on there, but I wouldn't count on that, so you need to be prepared for a remote experience. And another very unique thing about the Thompson River is it's wild trout, but it has natural bait. So if you do want to use natural bait, you can't use live minnows, for example, but you can use other forms of natural bait. That's very unusual for a wild stream. That's normally not the case. So it is an interesting aspect to this stream. Drew, is there anything you want to add about the Thompson River from your approach?
It was nice, though. It has a lot of waterfalls.
And what did you enjoy the most about it?
The fishing was really good.
Yeah, we caught a lot of fish that day, had a lot of bite, so that was really great.
Drew, what are some reasons we should fish remote wild trout streams?
Well, my favorite reasons are, if you're going to eat the trout, wild trout tastes better, in my opinion, than stock trout. And unless you're fishing in a popular hiking spot, you won't have as many crowds.
Some other reasons I would add is they tend to be a lot more scenic than some of the other streams, and in this case there's a lot of waterfalls. I thought that was very nice. The water is typically cooler because you're higher elevations, cleaner water. And then the trout themselves, the wild trout, are more colorful, maybe a little bit more wary and more challenging. And sometimes you can fish for indigenous trout or trout that are from that area of the country naturally that otherwise wouldn't be found in other streams. For example, the brook trout here in North Carolina tend to be on these wild, remote streams. So
what about regulations and access?
Yeah, so one of the things you always want to be careful of is that you're following the rules laid out by your state if it's public water. So you want to go to your state's wildlife resources website and review whatever the rules are. And they can change along the length of a stream. So it may be a certain portion of the stream is one way and another is a different regulation. So make sure you're aware of that and where you are. The other thing you can do is near a stream, sometimes they'll have a sign to tell you the regulations. Access, the best thing, of course, is go to someone who already knows the area or talk to them before you go. That's another way to know what the chat rooms online. So I do both of those things. People, as far as have good information on. In fact, I even found a photographer who talks a lot about these areas because of the waterfalls that he photographs there. He has some great information on how to access the streams. A lot of times there's national forest or national park or state park maps, USGS maps Those can be good resources. And then Google Maps can also help to some degree, especially to know where to park or how to access it, by driving. So those are some key ways to look at access. Keep in mind, for a wild stream, a lot of time you're away from the car, and you want to take everything you'll need with you for the day. So obviously you're going to want some food and water throughout the day, whatever snacks you need. Make sure you got enough water to be hydrated. All your fishing supplies. You may want some coats for cold weather. We take waterproof raincoat in case it might rain later that day. You may want some safety fobs, items, stuff like that. There's some great sunscreen. You may want bug spray, snake protection. You may want some coat. If you need medication throughout the day, you take that with you. Drew, what else would you mention as far as that goes?
I like to take a small backpack and just put everything in that. And so if I have to go under any low branches or anything, I can usually get under them with a small backpack.
Yeah, the other great thing about a backpack is you may want to carry your boots down and all your stuff down and leave the backpack at the trailhead while you fish the stream if it's safe there. So that's another thing you can do with that. Another thing you want to make sure you do, sometimes there's private property along the stream. You want to make sure you respect that. Don't trespass or fish on anybody's private land. Stick to the public water. Go on.
I hope you enjoyed our focus on remote wild trout streams. Tight lines, everybody!